This is my attempt at freeballing a stupid story. Now I have an inspiration and my title. Now let us begin with the story of Nicolas Cage travels to the Australian bar. Now, Nicolas Cage decided it was time to get wasted after a year's career of shitty fucking movies. So he went to a bar in Australia. Yes, he ordered a frickin' package of kangaroos, and they all hopped across the ocean gladly to carry him into the country of Australia. Now, in Australia, he decided to find a pub, and inside of said pub, he decided he was going to get wasted. Now, here's how it all played out. Inside of the pub, he was sitting around, drinking drinks, getting wasted, and then all of a sudden, he decided to cause a distraction for no reason, and summed up the worst Australian accent he could do, and screamed, "Fuck Mexico!" And then, when everyone looked at him, he just decided that that was a horrible idea, because sitting right next to him was Mr. Frickin' Sniper Mundy Man, and he was all like, "Oi, what'd you say about Mexico? We're in fucking Australia. Don't you know your geography?" And he's like, "You don't sound Australian, you sound horrible." And then the Sniper McGundy, what's his face, was like, "Stop! You shouldn't be saying things like that. This is all voiced by a shitty dude. Just shut up." And then Nick Cage was like, "Ah, crap." And then he decided to dance his merry jigs, and then he went out the door. And then, Princess Celestia showed up, and then a bunch of people wrote letters, and then John Patrick Laurie shows up, and he starts, reading these letters, and he's like, "Do I need to get on my penis for this or what?" But then, Chris Cast, watches the video of him saying that, and then they, advertise the book that he wrote, and the book's actually pretty good. You should go buy it. It's a nice book. It's about eternity and living forever and stuff. And then, Nicolas Cage goes off, and since he's, fully wasted, he decides to go down the street, and once he goes down the street a little bit, he gets hit by a car. He ends up in the hospital. His dying words are, "Not the peas!" Then he was resurrected by Justice Crust, Rod and Savior, and then Justice Crust picked up Spoderman from the police station, because, Spoderman got arrested for having too much swag, and then Spoderman raped all of their mothers, and then, this took a really dark turn very quickly. Nicolas Cage showed up and murdered Spoderman, and then it became the hero of the town, and then decided to play Minecraft for a little bit, and then after, 400 hours of his life wasted, he decided to, 400 hours, that's not a lot. Anyway, he decided to go switch over to Team Fortress 2, and then he played 800 hours of Team Fortress 2, and then he started, and then he got on a Machinima, and then in Machinima he made a podcast, and in the podcast they talked a lot about Dead Island, and how Gabe Newell himself was in a rap battle, in one of the scenes in Dead Island, and then there were a bunch of British robots everywhere, like, "Oh, jolly good, sir, tea and crumpets and biscuits and God save the Queen," and all that shit. Then they decided to build a rocket ship, go to space, have a bunch of boxing fights, build a dungeon, and then eventually burn down the state of Georgia. Yes, now Nicolas Cage was his buzz, his alcoholic high was wearing off a little bit, and I faded out of the voice on accident. Whoops. I will try to keep back on that. Yes, then Nicolas Cage, after playing Team Fortress 2 for 800 hours of his life, decided to finally create a motherfucking Steam account. Then inside of the Steam account, he named his account name Dispenser! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. And within this Steam account, he did not play Team Fortress 2. Instead, he played Sir, You Are Being Hunted. No, wait, I meant to say, he was playing Sir, Don't... What the fuck? Sorry, I broke the flow. Then, the only game he played from then on out was Dota 2. Yes, Dota 2. He became quite enthralled in all of this national championship showbiz. Showbiz? What the fuck is showbiz? Anyway, he got all enthralled in this national championship shit, and won $1.4 million. No, scratch that. He won $7 million. Mwah-ha-ha. So and then he went off and bought frickin' Norton Security shit, and then bought himself a farm, and no Joyzy, and then inside of no voice crack Joyzy. Yeah, he suddenly changed states. He was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this farm and stuff, and then he made a bunch of farm noises and then plowed a field with his bare chest. Because, you know, the power of Nicolas Cage ribcage was just too spooky for you, bruh. And then, you know, Bob showed up and he's like, yo, I got these 60 coins, you got that pile of wrenches, I want those wrenches. And then this dude picked up a flower and was like, hey, who am I? What am I doing here? I was introduced as this dude. And then Nick Cage was like, no, I don't want that, and just punched the dude in the frickin' face. The dude flew off into oblivion, just like Super Smash Bros. Or something. And then Darth Vader shows up and he's like, and then he gave them all presents, and they were like, yay! And then a bee showed up and was like, I fuck your shit. And then Nicolas Cage was like, no! Not the bee! And then Batman showed up and was like, I'm Batman. You wanted to fuck with the Batman? No. I am magic fairies, bitch. And then threw a bunch of fairy dust at them. And then after that, they all looked at a book of optical illusions and nearly motherfucking died. Then after drinking 10,000 gallons of water, Nicolas Cage turned into the Easter Bunny. Yes, I think I faded out of the voice somewhere in them. And then after eating a red mushroom, Nicolas Cage grew twice the size he used to be, and then went on a killing spree. He ended up in jail for 4 years for a killing spree. That's a very light penalty. Anyway, he became the owner of Ziploc. Yeah, inspiration. Anyway, he became the owner of the Ziploc Corporation and decided to release his own brand of Ziploc containers. These were called the Food Cage. If you aren't laughing at this right now, I'm going to show up in your house and punch your dog to death. Not because you should be laughing at that thing or anything. No, that wasn't funny at all. I'm not funny to any other person but myself. But I just don't like dogs, and the magic of you not laughing at that pun would be enough for me to teleport to your house and punch your dog in the face. Anyway, Nicolas Cage did not rape a dog. Why did I think about that? No, he didn't. And then he became Nicolas Cage, the fuck. I need to think of a pun. Cage the Cage. Cage. I fucked it up. He became Cage the Cajun, the magnificently wonderful Cajun, and he was a magician. And while he was a magician, he just summoned pies out of nowhere and was like, "Fuck Mexico!" And then, yeah. I'm sorry, the cage. It's too much for me. And the noodle Wolverine pops into my fucking head. Oh my god. Okay. And then Wolverine shows up, and they're gonna be like, hey, we're gonna replace all your bones with adamantium. But then something goes wrong, and instead they replace all of his bones with noodles. So he just regains his composure and collapses in the freaking ground like a dumbass, and then kind of rides around. For a little bit, and then once they're on the ground, he's on the ground, kind of like writhing around, like, kill me, and then he's just kind of like, I can't move. Magneto shows up and he's like, hey, I fuck your shit. And Wolverine, this isn't about Nicolas Cage anymore. I need to stop before I go into a fucking I hope you enjoyed this, because I sure as fuck did. Anyway, goodbye.